Hello everyone, this is YVR. Welcome to YVR Maths Tutorial. In this video, I am going to discuss about definite integrals, limit as a sum concept. In previous video, I have already discussed about definite integral concept by using fundamental theorem of integral calculus. If you did not watch my earlier class, get the link from the description card. To understand the concept easily, watch this video till the end. Let's begin today's class with the concept definite integrals, limit as a sum. So far, we have studied about indefinite integrals and various methods to integrate them. Indefinite integrals are implemented when the limits of the integrand are not specified. But definite integrals are used when the limits are defined to generate a unique value. In case the lower limit and upper limit of the independent variable of a function is specified, its integration is described using definite integrals. The definite integrals of any function can be expressed either as the limit of a sum or if there exists an antiderivative F for the interval a comma b. Then the definite integral of the function is the difference of the values at points a and b. Let us discuss definite integrals as a limit of a sum. Let f of x be a continuous real valued function defined on the closed interval a comma b, which is divided into n equal intervals x0 comma x1, x1 comma x2, x2 comma x3, up to so on xn minus comma xn, each of width h by inserting n minus 1 points between a and b. What I said here? See here, f is a continuous function and the interval closed interval a comma b divided into n equal intervals. What are the n equal intervals? These are the n equal intervals. And what is the width of each interval? The width of each interval is small h. So based on this information, what is x0? x0 is small a. And the width of each interval is h. So what is x1 then? x1 is a plus h. And then what is x2? a plus 2h. Up to so on xr. What is xr? General element. xr is equal to a plus rh. And so on. What is xn? xn is nothing but b. So b is nothing but a plus nh. So observe students here carefully. The interval a comma b is divided into n equal parts. Each part width is h units. So x0 value if we consider as a, then the width from x0 to x1 is h. Then x1 what you will get? Then x1 is a plus h. And x1 to x2 width is h. So x2 you will get a plus 2h. Up to so on xn. xn is the from the interval a comma b, xn is the last element, that is b. So n intervals here, that's why a plus nh. So here x0 is equal to a, x1 is equal to ah, comma x2 is equal to a plus 2h, up to so on xr is equal to a plus rh, up to so on xn is equal to b, which is nothing but a plus nh. So from this last term, nh can be written as b minus a. From this, what you can write the h value? From this h is equal to b minus a by n. So what is the information I given here? That information I will explain geometrically. For that, I will take two-dimensional coordinate axis. Let us consider a continuous function y is equal to f of x on the closed interval a comma b. Now, we will divide this interval a comma b into n equal intervals. See here, this is the first interval and then second interval up to so on, and then general interval xr minus 1 to xr, up to so on, the last interval xn minus 1 comma xn. So these are the n equal intervals. What I discussed in the previous slide, that I am explaining here geometrically. Observe carefully, students. Here just I considered a continuous function f of x on the interval a comma b. The interval a comma b I divided into n equal parts. As we discussed in the previous slide, here x0 is equal to a and x1 is equal to a plus h because width is h. x2 is equal to a plus 2h. Up to so on, xr is equal to a plus rh. Up to so on, xn minus 1 is equal to a plus n minus 1 into h. And the last one, xn is equal to b, which is nothing but a plus nh. Okay, students. We know that area of one rectangle is equal to width into average height. If you observe this diagram, the width of each rectangle is same, that is h. But what is the height of the rectangle? The height of this rectangle is f of a or f of a plus h. Similarly, if we see the height of this rectangle is f of a plus h or f of a plus 2h. Similarly, the height of this rectangle is f of a plus rh. In the similar way, the height of this rectangle is f of a plus n minus 1 into h or f of a plus nh. So, after dividing the interval a comma b into n equal parts, each part is a rectangle. See here, in this diagram, it is very clear. Each part is a rectangle. So, we know the formula for area of the rectangle. Width into average height. So, here width is common for each and every rectangle, that is h. So, area of the first rectangle is equal to h into f of a. Area of second rectangle is equal to h into f of a plus h. Area of third rectangle is equal to h into f of a plus 2h. Up to so on, the area of last rectangle is equal to h into f of a plus n minus 1 into h. So till now, we discussed areas of n rectangles. The sum of all these rectangles, if we denote with the notation Sn, then what we will get? See here, let Sn denote the sum of areas of n rectangles. Then Sn can be written as h into f of a plus h into f of a plus h plus h into f of a plus 2h plus up to so on h into f of a plus n minus 1 into h. From right side, from each and every term, if we take h common, then what you will get? See in the next step. Sn is equal to, if you take h common, h into f of a plus f of a plus h plus f of a plus 2h plus up to so on f of a plus n minus 1 into h. Here what is h? Here h is b minus a by n. Already we discussed this about this h in the first slide. Here what is Sn? Sn is the sum of areas of n rectangles marked in diagram. Now observe the diagram clearly. If Sn is the sum of areas of n rectangles marked in the diagram, then the union of these rectangles is approximately the region between the curve and x-axis. So this capital Sn is the approximate area only, because if you observe the diagram, between each rectangle and curve, we have some space. Observe the diagram carefully, students. Between the rectangle and the curve, we have some space. That region is not included in this Sn. So what is Sn here? Sn means sum of the areas of n rectangles. But outside of the rectangle, inside the curve, that means between rectangle and curve, we have some space. The area of that space is not included in this Sn. So to get exact area of this region, what to do? When the number of rectangles increases, the approximation gets closer. That means clearly Sn denotes the area which is close to the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x-axis, and the ordinates x is equal to a, x is equal to b. It is evident that if n increases, the number of rectangles will increase and width of rectangles will decrease. So, Sn gives a closer approximation to the area enclosed by the curve y is equal to f of x-axis, and the ordinates x is equal to a, x is equal to b. Therefore, if we take limit as tends to infinity, then limit n tends to infinity Sn gives the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x and x-axis, and the ordinates x is equal to a and x is equal to b. It can be proved that this limit exists for all continuous functions defined on closed interval a comma b and is defined as the definite integral of f of x over a comma b. Therefore, integral a to b f of x dx is equal to limit n tends to infinity Sn. See here, what is Sn? Substitute the Sn here. Then what you will get? See here, integral a to b f of x dx is equal to limit n tends to infinity h into f of a plus h plus f of a plus 2h plus up to so on plus f of a plus n minus 1 into h. So this formula can also be written in another form, because if n is tending to infinity, then h value is tending to 0. So based on this one, the above formula can be written as integral a to b f of x dx is equal to limit h tends to 0 h into f of a plus h plus f of a plus 2h plus up to so on f of a plus n minus 1 into h. What is h here? Already we discussed here h is equal to b minus a by n. The process of evaluating a definite integral by using this definition is called integration from first principles, or integration by ab initio method, or integration as the limit of sum. So, dear students, this is the concept of definite integral limit as a sum. This is the important formula to find the definite integral by using limit as a sum concept. Here I want to discuss one remark. While finding Sn in the above discussion, we have taken the left end points of subintervals. See here, from the first rectangle, left end only we taken. From the second rectangle, left hand only we taken, and from the last rectangle also we taken left end only. So we can also take the right end point of the subintervals throughout to obtain the formula. See here, if you take right end of subinterval, then you will get one formula. See the formula, integral a to b f of x dx is equal to limit h tends to 0 h into f of a plus h plus f of a plus 2h plus f of a plus 3h plus up to so on f of a plus nh. Here also h value is b minus a by n only. This formula we obtained by taking right end point of the subinterval, and this formula we got by taking left end point of the subinterval. While you are solving the problems, you can take either first formula or second formula. You will get the same answer. There is no difference. I hope you understand this concept. To get the notification for updated videos, subscribe this channel and activate bell icon. So in next video, we will solve some problems based on the concept definite integral limit as a sum concept. So while we are solving the problems based on this concept, some formulas will be needed. So I will give you here some important and useful formulas. It will be useful to you while you are solving the problems. So observe carefully these formulas and note it down. Thank you for watching this video. Drop a like, give a comment and share with your friends. Thank you. Thank you very much.